Rivian finally has a new paint color, Borealis purple. Something new, something different. We are tired of all of the grays and the blacks and the whites and the neutral tones. While I can appreciate a good limestone, give us something bold. And this is that, a purple Rivian. Now, while it is not something that I would personally choose, or something that I see many of you even choosing, it is definitely a step in the right direction. This paint color option is $3,000, and from the configurator, it looks a little bit different from the pictures Rivian and RJ have posted online, but it does seem to have a nice metallic color to it. I'm looking forward to seeing this color in person and hopefully in the wild. RIP Compass Yellow and Limestone. Now, I don't understand why Rivian would cancel Limestone. I understand Compass Yellow. With Rivian's old paint shop, it was a lot harder to produce colors that were in low demand. I guess it didn't make as much sense on a manufacturing cost side. And so to make things more efficient, they cut off Compass Yellow in production. And it doesn't sell as well. I get it, but yellow is a vibrant color. People want something different. We have the blue and the red and the greens, but yellow, totally different. Then limestone, while still a neutral color, what people appreciated about it is that it still has a bit of a blue hint to it. And so it didn't feel as dry as a black, a white, an El Cap, an LA Silver. And it was an option that a lot of people picked, actually. I don't understand why that was canceled. I understand the need to keep like a red and a blue, but I feel like I saw limestone more than I saw red Canyon or Rivian blue, but it was canceled anyway. But now with the R2 General Assembly, part of this big construction is introducing Rivian's new R1, R2 paint shop. And so this will allow Rivian to produce more cars, and so the paint shop won't be a bottleneck anymore. The old paint shop, if there was an issue with the paint shop, the entire line had to stop. Now cars can be painted off the line, and so if there's something else happening within the production general assembly, you can still paint cars, and it's no longer something that can cause a bottleneck, can cause a constraint within the manufacturing line. Keep things running. It'll also allow Rivian to paint more cars and have more variation of colors, which is why I think we're getting a Borealis purple, which is exciting. Now, this was part of, I imagine, Rivian's rollout for Art Week in Miami, but this purple color goes alongside their Rivian Spaces, along with the Miami Quad Edition. Back in September, we saw a one-off Miami edition Rivian, but they've brought back the Miami edition with its cool pink and blue accents within the exterior and interior of the vehicle and brought it onto an R1S quad. Just 10 units, $135,000, but still pretty cool. And I love that we're getting these different editions. And so we have the Miami edition here alongside the California edition, which had more units, but still something to kind of spice up what we see from Rivian. One of my biggest complaints is that the Rivian dual standard, dual large max, the tri-max and the quad max look too similar. The quad, I wish, just had more pizzazz to it. This is something that I've complained privately about all of the time to my Rivian friends, and I don't know if I've talked about it here on the channel a lot, but a Porsche GT3 and a GTS and the Turbo S, all the different trims have different everything. Bumper, spoiler, wheels, fender flares. Like, there's a lot more theatrics. And while that is a two-door sport car, I could say the same thing for a Porsche Cayenne or S, or like all of the various Porsche trims. There are clear visual differences. The only thing that separates the R1T and R1S quad from its tri counterpart are the speeding Gary badge and the Laguna Blue accents. So, other than that, you don't really know it's a quad. I mean, maybe you can get the Super Sport UHP ultra high performance wheels, but other than that, just driving by, you're not going to know it's a quad. Unless you see that badge, unless you're into Rivian and And when people are spending $120,000, $30,000 on a vehicle, $40,000 on a vehicle, you want something that people know is there. Otherwise, you just get the Tri. The Tri, compared to the Quad, I think is an amazing value, and that's why Rivian pushes it so much, because it's profitable for them and it's a great value compared to the Quad, much cheaper. And you still get all of the same paint and interior options. And the only difference is it's 0.3 seconds slower for $10,000 less, $15,000 less, yellow accents, and it doesn't have the rad tuner and kick turn. That's it. So the Tri is just that good, and the Quad it needs to be more different. So point is, I want to see more things that are different from Rivian, okay? I want to see an R1T and R1S Quad with something crazy, wider fenders. A Ford F-150 doesn't look like a Bronco. Anyway, I think between now and let's say 2028, when I think we'll see like a full next generation R1, expect more of this. Expect more of these edition, Miami edition, purple paint, California Dune. Rivian is really going to focus on R2 and then introducing Georgia and then scaling R3. And then at that point, we might get a new generation of R1 and maybe even R2 and just more going on. But I think just to keep R1 relevant, interesting, you're going to see more of these one-off paint color options, and maybe, we'll bring back a California Dune. Imagine a Sahara Dune, right? I've been thinking about these things, guys, like a brown, red, orange clay, nice same color interior. It would look sick. Okay, a Pacific Northwest edition. Like, you can really play with it. And being an off-road brand, a premium brand, they can really do these things. We got purple paint. That is awesome. We got a Miami edition. That is awesome. And I just wish that Rivian would introduce more paint colors, okay? When you look at Porsche, which I know it's like, well, it's Porsche, and they're known for their paint to sample and cool color options. Just because the R1 standard is a base model doesn't mean it should just have 5 paint colors and all of them being variations of gray. And, they have one weird color, which is forest green, and so there just needs to be more paint options across the board. You don't have to do paint to sample, but just give us 5 more paint options. And I know it sounds like a lot, but with the new paint shop and with the scaling of R2, I'm hoping Rivian can bring some of those costs down, and then we can have just more excellence for the R1. I think back to Jeep, that they have a ton of crazy colors with their brand, Subaru. The FJ Cruiser, introducing more color, I think is just going to make the R1 more appealing to people. And if they just have to stick it to like the dual large or max only, or just the Tri and Quad max only, like something like that, I get it, but just introduce more colors. Anyway, those are my thoughts, right, on the Borealis purple. We got a new Rivian color. Anyway, let's go into the part that you've all been waiting for. Rivian paint color tier list. I'll have to do something like this for the interior options as well. And honestly, I think I have the best opinion here. So, you're seeing it here first. Rivian updates. All right, let's start off with a banger, Compass Yellow, okay? I think Compass Yellow is easily A tier. I don't think it's an S tier. I think there are some criteria for what would make an S tier. It's got to be a different color. It can't be a neutral color. And if it is neutral, it has to be really bold. It can't be low in sales. It can't be a color that not many people are picking. It's got to have some personality to it. And it has to work with Rivian's other options, like the wheels and the interior. I think Compass Yellow looks good with all of the wheel options, all of the interior options, even crazy Forest Edge green leather interior on the Rivians with Compass Yellow was like my dream configuration. It was canceled before I got my Rivian, but I would have gotten that. Anyway, Compass Yellow, it's got aura, it's got pizzazz. People are still asking for it back to this day, and I think that is important for a color, all right? People gotta have some interest for it, even if it isn't selling well, all right? You gotta have something there for people to say, oh, I like that, and then not choose, all right? That's how the market works. Then let's do launch green. Now, launch green, I'm gonna put in S tier. Now, here's why. Apparently, Rivian has now officially named that color Rivian green within the color association with Pantone. Now, Pantone is like the World Organization of Paint, all right? They apparently name all of the paint colors, and they keep all of the coding of colors to have an idea of what each color is on the spectrum. And Rivian green is the official name of this paint color now, which is pretty cool. On top of that, people were continuing to ask for launch green. Outside of its launch, Rivian brought it back. I think it actually performed pretty well. And so it's a different color. It's not like bright. It's not fully saturated. It's different. It's new, but it still has a lot of interest from people. And I think that right there, boom, S tier. Give me more of that. I like it. So S tier for the launch green. Let's move on. Laguna Blue. I also put that S tier. It fits the same criteria, right? I don't think the R3 would hit as hard if it was in like an orange. Maybe it would. Or like a black. I think part of what makes the R3X is its Laguna Blue. And according to Rivian's designers, right, this Laguna Blue is supposed to be the same Laguna Blue that we see on the accents of the Quad Rivians, the Gen 2 Quad. And so it's the accents of the Quad, looks great to me. R3X paint color in person, on photos, boom. It's I think what stands out about the R3X partly the most. And so, you know, it made a name for itself within the world and the Rivian community. I think Laguna Blue, boom, S tier. All right, Permafrost. This is the name of this R3 color. I'm gonna put this in a B tier. Okay, it isn't your black, white, gray. It's still neutral. Got some metallic to it. This is actually one of my favorite Rivian colors. My probably top 3, and it just has green to it. Like, it just looks really good on the R3. And I hope that is a color that actually makes it to production. However, you know what? I'm gonna put it in A tier. All right. It's not S tier. I think it's good. I think a lot of people are gonna pick it. It's just, I don't think it's low. It's not bad enough for B tier. We'll revisit that. Let's move on. LA Silver. D tier. Yep. You're surprised, aren't you? LA Silver from Rivian is lazy. No offense. Silver Teslas. Actually great. I'm not talking about the grays, like the Quicksilver and the Lunar Silver. Like, those are beautiful. Okay. Porsche Silver, like the 911 Turbo S Silver. Amazing. Los Angeles Silver, LA Silver from Rivian is good, actually. I think it's good. It's just, it's, you know, as a silver enthusiast, it's okay. You know, it's not crazy. You know, a D on this list is like a C+ in class. All right. So it's like you pass, you know, you're good. Good job. You're getting the degree. But like, you know, anyway. Glacier White. I'm going to put this in C tier. White is classic. There's nothing that stands out about Glacier White to me. I think it is a good white color, you know, but it's just white. Like, there's nothing spectacular there. It's not a white that really stands out. Same thing for the kind of black. I'm going to put the black at the D tier. Love black cars. Rivian black, again, it's just standard black. You know, Tesla has some no paint color options, okay? No paint color options. The original Model S had a lot, but today it's, you know, silver, gray, white, black, red, blue. And, you know, maybe some other variations in other regions, but like, at least Tesla's black, the black diamond black paint color, the metallic on that is amazing. Rivian's metallic black the midnight black isn't really all that to me. So again, just D tier. It's okay. I think it scratches really easily. I will say, I think the best quad configuration is midnight black with the ultra high performance, the super sport wheels. I think that's probably the best configuration, at least in my opinion. Forest green, put that C tier. In fact, I'll move it to B tier. The reason I'd say this is forest green looks great. I won't go too in depth with it. I don't think it looks great on the R1S. It looks good on the R1T. It doesn't look good with every wheel option. Like, I feel like forest green looks okay with the you know, the 21-inch aero wheels. I think it looks bad with the 22-inch sport darks. I think it looks kind of weird with the all-terrain, 20-inch all-terrain brights. You know, it is just a really wish-washy, like, the interior, you can't really pick like a slate sky couldn't work with that. You know, it just doesn't, it isn't a paint color that merges well with everything else, which is weird because I feel like Laguna Blue and Launch Green, which I feel like the closest here to Forest Green, I think work well with those other interior colors. But that's just how I feel about Forest Green. Still, B. I think it's better than, you know, what we see from Glacier White and LA Silver and Midnight Black, but B tier. Rivian Blue. We're going to put this in a nice A tier. All right, Rivian Blue. Let's talk about Rivian paint color names for a second. Borealis, Laguna Blue, Los Angeles Silver, Red Canyon, okay? Glacier White, El Cap Gray. These are some, Limestone, amazing names. Shout out Rivian, Forest Green, like they evoke nature. And I like this a lot. You know, Rivian Blue, while I understand, I think originally they were supposed to call it RJ Blue because it's the color that RJ personally picked. You actually see quite a few of these out there. Like, I think it's probably one of the most popular Gen 1 colors, and it's nice. I think it works well with all paint color options, all interior options. The Rivian Blue looks good. However, Rivian Blue is a name. Just Rivian Blue, you know? Give me more. Like, I feel like Launch Green, like, it should also have an alternative name other than Rivian Green. Like, Launch Green, Rivian Green, I feel like it should have something else. Like, I don't know, Mud Green. Like, just something evoking that emotion. Rivian Green doesn't really vibe. Red Canyon. I'm going to put this in a B tier. Red Canyon is a liar, all right? Red Canyon has a bit of an orange hue to it. It doesn't look like that in the configurator. The configurator makes it look like it's a Ferrari red, but that's not the case. And so it's hard for me to really look at Red Canyon and be like, good paint color option. I think it works well with all interior options, actually, including Slate Sky, and the wheels. But because it's, you know what, the problem is I have a problem with calling things orange red. Now, Red Canyon is red, but canyons aren't red. You know what I mean? So this should be like something else. What is a good nature thing that kind of is red but also orange? Because the Grand Canyon is not red at all. There's no red in it, okay? It's a deep burnt orange, brown, sure, yeah, but it's no red. So let's not lie to ourselves. So Red Canyon, the name, again, great name. It's just canyons aren't red. And it looks red in the configurator, and in person, it can, under different lighting conditions, it kind of has an orange. I think if it was named differently, it wasn't lying, and the configurator looked a little different, Red Canyon would take the cake. Red Canyon, Ocean Coast, ultra high performance wheels, 10 out of 10 configuration. Just Ocean Coast with Red Canyon, 10 out of 10 configuration right there. Probably one of my favorite configurations. All right, Borealis Purple. I'm gonna put this in B tier. It's cool. No one's gonna buy it. It's different, you know? That's it. I don't think there's anything special. I haven't seen it in person, so I can't really like say. You know what I don't have on this list? California Dune. California Dune, though, would be C tier. Okay? California Dune would be C tier. Why? Because it needs... Toyota, General Motors, Ford. Their Dune colors, spectacular. Rivian's Dune dropped the ball. It should be more Dune-y, like more brownish to it. It's just too light. In certain lighting condition, it looks almost white. So that's just not a good paint color. But besides that, I think Dune, it looks great. Anyway, yeah, Borealis Purple is just cool, I guess. It's, again, not people are going to be interested in it. It's not a color that I would pick. It's different, and so it definitely is above C and D tier, just for that alone. You know, it's viral, but it's just not like, it's not there. Anyway, what is this next? This is Slate Storm Blue. Storm Blue is going to get an easy S tier. Now, let's talk about why. It is probably the most popular Tri-Max color. Looks amazing with Slate Sky. It is just a popular color, like, and it just looks good. And it's not bright and bold. It's not Rivian Blue or Red Canyon bright. You know, it isn't red, Compass Yellow bright, but it's still different. It's not a dead gray or blue. You know, people like that. People like colors that are close to neutral but still have a personality to it. And Storm Blue, just nail on the head. Great name, Storm Blue. I like it. I wonder what other storm, like what other names we could get, right? Borealis, Storm Blue. You know, could we get a Tornado Gray? You know, a Hurricane Blue, Hurricane Gray. I don't know how close you want to like name your car color, paint colors after natural disasters. Kind of too close to home for some people. But, you know, name some natural occurring paint colors in the comments. I don't know, like a Snow White. Doesn't work. Doesn't work, but like Glacier White. Let's talk about that. Glaciers aren't white. Why? Glaciers aren't white. They're like blue. So, you know, they're not, you know, they're blue. So, anyway, black. Midnight Black. I'm going to put, no, what's that? That's LCAP. Yeah, LCAP's going D. Objectively, it's an okay Rivian color. It's just, it is not a good, I think it's just lived its life. All right, I think it works perfectly. They need to replace it with another gray, you know, come in with like a, I don't know, just a different gray. It's not a bad color. It's just, pick something else. You know, LCAP is just kind of lost at this point, you know. Great name, LCAP Gray. Boom. I mean, perfect. It's literally a great name. Limestone. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I don't like limestone, personally. As I've matured, it's definitely grown on me, but I still am not fully convinced with limestone. And so personally, I would put it in like a C tier, but because I am logical and unbiased and, you know, the best source of media and news across the nation with no biases or bad opinions, all my opinions are correct, I'm going to put it in B. And that's just a more logical answer. You know, it's not like a it's not a gray, it's not a blue, it's not black, white, like it's not dead neutral. It's kind of like Storm Blue, right? It's neutral, but it has a bit of a tint of something to it. And that alone makes limestone a very popular color. Great name as well. And so limestone was just a color that I would love to see. We also have, I think, evergreen and slate green. These were two colors that Rivian CEO RJ showed off on like a concept paint demo like 2 years ago. Yeah, those would be like B tier, BC tier. I don't think those looked great. They're like variations of launch green, to be honest. They didn't look all too pleasing. But, you know, maybe if they went to production, you know, had some more metallic in it, like we could see it in person, then my opinion would change. But this is the ultimate Rivian paint tier list. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name's Isaiah, this is Rivian Updates, and I'll see you guys later.